Our only current resident, though, is Herbie the Love Bug. Everybody say hi to Herbie. Herbie's sponsored by the Burns House and then the same system. Here's the hat a little bit of people trying to have those big hearts. Oh, well, those are that great. Know that being heard? Filmmakers call this Shoot Anywhere USA because depending on just where you place the camera, you can recreate any home anywhere in the United States. For you TV fans, the beige house coming up on your left should look familiar to you. It's the home of the Emmy Award-winning Golden Girls, and theirs is just one of the many exteriors shot here on our back lot. And it looks like production crews are adding the final props and dressings to the last house on the left for an upcoming shoot. You'll notice how the frisbee and paper on the roof and even the bikes up by the porch give it that lived-in look. Well, it's those small details that make a big difference when filming. Now, just up ahead is our urban counterpart to Residential Street. We're going to take a look at that in just a few moments. But first, I want you to notice our backlot church. An episode of Superboy. The two big dragon boats you see were used over at Epcot Center on a special called Kaleidoscope that premiered over there a couple of years ago. And the wooden keel boat was used in the 1976 Disney motion picture, The Treasures of Montecumbe. Portions of that was filmed right here on our very own property. Just beyond that, there's some props from Return of the Jedi, and the silver pod was used in the Flight of the Navigator, the Disney picture. Now as you look across the canal, you'll get a backstage view of our Residential Street. You'll notice how the details stop just beyond camera range. Well, that's because there's no need to build what the camera is never going to see. Once again, you'll see the props from Return of the Jedi there. And the Last Navigator. Now, I like Residential Street. I think it's a nice neighborhood, but for some reason, I just don't think I'd want to live there. You see, there's just not enough privacy in that bedroom community for me. However, on the back lot, we could recreate sets, scenes, and environments that cannot be found nearby. For example, where in Central Florida would you find an active oil field and a dry, rocky, barren desert canyon that's prone to flash floods? Well, you wouldn't, so our construction crews built one right here on our back lot. By the way, this is an example of a standing set that will be used over and over again for different scenes and different reasons. There you go, rain on a sunny day. It only happened at Disney. Oh, Lord, do you have that brake on? Yeah. I don't have such a good feeling. Stop it, no! They're filming the earthquake scene, everybody. Please remain seated. Grab all the balls, small children, and whatever you do, don't panic. Send us get those fires put out though, didn't we? Did y'all like that? Yeah, all right. Well, whenever you're ready, Lord. Now we're going to take you behind the scenes and show you just how that catastrophe was created. Propane gas for the fire and the explosions that you saw. These larger wide high pressure water pipes here in the middle carry the water for the flash flood. Now the flood was created when we opened the gates of the large black tanks up at the top of the set. Now they're large enough to hold water to fill 10 Olympic-sized swimming pools. Some of that water was shot out by the giant green air cannons in the back, and they're powerful enough to shoot 275 gallons of water over 100 feet. Now to give you an idea of just how powerful that is, if you were to take one and stick a basketball inside of it, place it out in front of the Empire State Building, it would shoot that basketball 13 stories over the top of the Empire State Building. Now you might notice that there's a shuttle on their way into the canyon now. All 75,000 gallons of water that was just shot out towards you is going to be recycled. Archway once more. Look, we're right down the middle of that archway. You folks in the back will be seeing this momentarily. Please do feel free to ooh and ah. It is so spectacular, you know. We're going to take a closer look at those skyscrapers though in just a moment. Our construction crew has spent over 1 year and a half designing and planning the buildings that you now see. And though they may appear to be real, they're actually facades. What looks like stone and brickwork is actually fiberglass and styrofoam. And what appears to be these buildings are painted to look larger than what they really are. In New York City, the Empire State Building is over 100 stories tall, but if you look up to your right there, you can see that ours is barely over 4. And off to your left is the original trolley car used in the movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Though it may have appeared to be riding the rails, well, it's actually a modified bus. I'm now just trying to warn all of his pals on board about the dipmobile up ahead. So you want to keep your flappy ears, big heads, tails, and arms inside at this time. For the rest of you, well, you're going to get steamed. Anyone for a dip? Well, as you're around the corner, you'll notice the blue car off to your left. That was also when you take another look at those skyscrapers there, you can see how they're actually supported. You may have noticed that we didn't finish the whole thing. But like I told you back on Residential Street, there's really no need to because the camera's not going to see that portion of it. Now as you ride through the back, you might notice that you can see clear through these buildings. Well, when they're filming, they'll usually put some type of curtain, as you see there, or a backdrop behind the set, so it simply looks dark inside. Now the sub—
Here it comes. What you've just seen is a classic storm effect, just as we do it in the movies. Of course, in the movies, we would normally have to shoot more than one take. David, are you ready for take 2? Well, he says no. What do you folks think? Should we do it again? Good. This time, to make our scene even more realistic, I'll supply some wind, Susan will supply the rain, and you'll supply the sound. At the count of 3, everyone yell, dump it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Now, if we were actually filming today, the next step for our movie would be to take David's scene and edit it together with some footage of a miniature tugboat like you see on the monitors. This miniature was filmed in a water tank, and we used similar wind and rain effects. Considering we just dumped 800 gallons of water over the top of David's head, I'd say he did a great job in braving the storm. Folks, let's give him a big hand. And now for those of you here to my right, I thank you for spending some time here with us this morning. If you will continue up the ramp now, you'll be entering the special effects workshop. Bye-bye, folks. Have fun today. The explosions provided by water cannons and an actor provided by an unsuspected volunteer from our audience. Hi, what's your name? Dan. Dan, you're going to be Captain Dan Duck, commander of the SS Totally Sinkable in our action-packed adventure, All Hands on Deck. While on patrol in the deepest, darkest region of our water tank, you spot a battleship off in the distance. Over this way, Dan, and you fire a torpedo right through her midships. Good shot, Dan. Uh-oh, look what you did, though. Enemy plane at 10 o'clock. Duck, Captain Duck. Oh, no. Well, Captain, we survived the air attack, but now you have torpedoes coming right at you. They're getting closer, closer. Captain, you're a dead duck. Folks, let's take one more look at the monitors and you'll see Dan's performance in a super slow motion instant replay. Dan, you were terrific, and it's been a blast working with you. Folks, let's give him a big round of applause for that.
And if we have any sci-fi fans who like this one, that big gray saucer up there, that's the original spaceship from the day the Earth stood still. The all-time classics. So as you can see, special effects is one of the most fascinating areas in filmmaking. And it all begins right here in the workshop, where artists and technicians can spend months creating these effects that you see on the big screen. Let's suppose your script calls for a cute little baby ant like this one. Oops. I'm sorry. Folks, he gets a little antsy at times. But don't let him bug you. From approved sketches, miniature sculptures are created and used as a guide for the full-size mechanical prop. Sometimes creatures are brought to life like puppets by off-camera operators who use cables to move them. And another way to bring your creature to life is known as stop-motion animation. In this process, our model is photographed one frame of film at a time, while an animator moves them slightly between each shot. When these individual frames are played back at a normal speed, the creature's movements appear very fluid and very real, like the scorpion from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Miniaturization plays a big part in special effects because it's far more cost efficient using a small scale, and it's far more manageable. You just have to add the right details. Oh, folks, watch out! That's the actual shrinking gun from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. You in the red hat back there, move back! You! Oh. Last week, one of my tour guides, Bob, was standing right back there. Well, you know, poor Bob used to live in this old house. It's a sad but a short story. Let's suppose your script calls for a set or a location that's impossible to find, let alone build. Then you rely on one of the most fascinating tricks of the trade. It's called matte painting. In this process, paint and film are combined to create a dramatic illusion. Here's how it's done. First, we film our live actors on a partial set. Then this is projected onto a large sheet of glass. And an artist comes in and paints in the rest of the scene. When these two elements are combined, the results can be quite magical. And speaking of magic, these are two of the original matte paintings from the London rooftop sequence of Mary Poppins. Folks, excuse me, go ahead and look around, I'll be right with you. It's a strange way to reach out and touch somebody. You know, although the effects begin here in the workshop, most of the magic takes place on the shooting stage next part of your tour. So folks, oops, go ahead on those great doors back there and do me a favor. If the phone rings, don't in.
That was great. They're going to be starting a scene from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. But first we're going to show you how a blue screen background can make people and objects appear in places they're not. By filming these objects in front of a blue screen, later on that blue can be dropped out and the appropriate background added. Now it was this process that allowed actor Bob Hoskins to drop into the cartoon world of Roger Rabbit. Now that you've seen how that's done, we're going to do some blue screen magic tomorrow. Alright, this is the scene. You're flying on the back of this honeybee in the backyard to people's boxer shorts. It's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it, and that's you too. You're going to kick your feet, wave your arms, and scream help, okay? Camera ready? And action, rolling. Oh, look at them go. Guys, yell help! As you can see on the monitors, our view stays stationary, but it's our camera that pans, tilts, and zooms to create an illusion of light. Ken, we need to set up for a second take. We need to talk, guys. Now you're doing a pretty good job. You were yelling help and waving your arms, smiling and kicking your feet. this time, you're gonna reach out and Jack is gonna save your life, okay? You're gonna pretend like you're falling off. Okay, you two brothers, are you two sisters? Oh, we'll save your life anyway. And action! Oh, touching scene. Cut. Well, great job. In the original movie, all these elements would be shot and assembled onto film. Today we're using video so you can see those results immediately. Watch your monitor so you can see our playback just like you would see it at the movies.
I'm Jesus.